And our desire to develop into regional air transportation hub must upgrade its facilities to take advantage of its assets.
Another landmark for international air travel for passengers from the Niger Delta region. President Buhari inaugurates new terminal building of Port Harcourt Airport.
This administration realizing that no nation develops without massive investment in infrastructure.
Achievements of the Buhari administration highlighted at a special town hall meeting in Ibadan. And Agenda 2063, African Union Commission is asking Nigeria to do more. Good evening, I am Cyril Stover in Abuja. Jennifer Igwe is in Lagos and Sadia Umar Digi is in our Sokoto Network Center. Welcome to Network News. The new terminal building for the Port Harcourt International Airport, Omagwa, Rivers State, has been inaugurated by President Muhammadu Buhari. This is not only in furtherance of his administration's infrastructure renewal program, but represents a landmark for international air travelers from the Niger Delta region. State House correspondent Adam Sambu has the details.
President Muhammadu Buhari.
The new airport terminal building in Port Harcourt is one of the 4 other similar projects being executed in Abuja, Lagos and Kano through the China Exim Bank initial loan facility of $500 million as well as the counterpart contribution of $100 million by the federal government. The Buhari administration inherited the project at 30% level of execution and ensured its completion as part of deliberate efforts at sustaining the development of infrastructure for economic growth in all the geopolitical zones of the country. Addressing participants at the ceremony, President Muhammadu Buhari commended the people of the Niger Delta region as well as airport users for their patience and understanding during the period of construction. The project, he said, is part of government's efforts at modernizing the aging airport infrastructure to meet global aviation standards and improve service delivery in tandem with best international practices.
Nigeria, having an advantageous central location within the sub-region and our desire to develop into regional air transportation hub, must upgrade its facilities to take advantage of its assets. The recent decision by the federal government to remove value-added tax from domestic air transportation is in line with global best practices.
The president said following population explosion with consequent surge in air passenger traffic, the capacity of the airport terminals became woefully inadequate, hence the decisive action by government on the aviation sector as catalyst for economic growth.
This will make air travel more affordable and subsequently lead to the creation of jobs by air transport service value chain, as well as increased revenues for the government.
He also promised to sustain efforts at developing Nigeria's power and health sectors, as well as the completion of all abandoned infrastructure projects, especially the railroads. Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State expressed delight over the completion of the project, which he described as significant to the economic development of the state, and promised to partner with the federal government towards improving the access road to the facility.
I can tell you that for this today, the people of Rivers State, the people of Niger Delta are happy for seeing this. What you are doing today will boost the economy of the state, will create employment for our people, will bring in investors to this state.
The new terminal building has the capacity to process 7 million passengers annually. Given our desire to develop into a regional air transportation hub, we remain committed to ensuring that our industry remains safe and secure, and above all, to keep pace with the global world trend.
The 2-story terminal building has, among other facilities, 24 check-in counters, 3 baggage collection conveyor belts, 28 immigration desks, 4 security screening points, and 4 passenger boarding gates.
Today, as the senator represents Rivers East Senatorial District, where this airport is located. I feel fulfilled that the airport that is described as being the worst in the world is among the best in the world.
The Port Harcourt Airport, which is the third busiest in Nigeria, recording in 2017 alone a passenger volume of 1.08 million, was also rated as the third worst in the world. That poor rating, however, aviation experts believe can be completely altered by putting into use the newly inaugurated terminal building. From Port Harcourt, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And staying with infrastructure, the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture Town Hall Meeting Series moved to Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, with a special edition in the infrastructure sector in the last 3.5 years of the Buhari administration. Anthony Forson reports.
The special edition of the Town Hall Meeting, which focuses on infrastructure, is in line with one of the cardinal objectives of the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration's infrastructural revival and accelerated development, looking at railways, roads, industries, and power, among others. Setting the stage for the meeting, convener of the Town Hall Meeting Series and Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, said the special Town Hall Meeting is second in the series of special Town Hall meetings ahead of the 2019 election.
There is no no-go areas, so everyone should have an open mind in making their contributions. This administration, realizing that no nation develops without massive investment in infrastructure, has made such investment a priority, and this is paying off.
Maintaining that infrastructure is the pivot upon which development thrives, the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration understands the situation and how important it is to national growth.
You cannot talk about the developed Western nations without talking about their roads, power, ports, rail system, just to mention a few. This is because these nations have invested massively in infrastructure over the years, realizing that infrastructure supports economic growth by enhancing productivity and efficiency.
Taking turns to present their scorecard as it relates to infrastructure development in the country, Minister for Transportation, Minister for Power, Works and Housing, and Minister for Water Resources took turns to make their presentation.
For me and for you, we owe not Buhari, we owe Nigeria a movement to progress.
Let me say quickly that in the southwest of Nigeria today, including Lagos, there are, as at yesterday, we had 67 road contracts, 67. Yesterday, we added another one in Federal Executive Council, the Agbara to Seme border road. That will connect Lagos and Ogun and then out of Nigeria. So that makes it 68.
We in this administration believe that government is a continuum. And therefore we felt that it doesn't make economic sense. Since we're a government and all the interventions we are going to do are for the benefit of the people, let us look at what we have on ground. Already investment has been made in some of these projects, and let us take them up and prioritize them and see which ones we will be able to accomplish. And that is exactly what we have been doing.
They were also quick to remind Nigerians on the need to remain steadfast and sustain their confidence in President Muhammadu Buhari. Oyo State Governor Abiola Ajimobi applauded the concept of the Town Hall Meeting Series.
We are very happy that Oyo State is very strategically located. It is the gateway between the commercial nerve center of Nigeria and the north, that is Lagos and the north. So what does that mean? Logistically speaking, we are very, very well positioned.
The Town Hall Meeting Series has remained a potent platform upon which the federal government interfaces with the citizens. In Ibadan, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
In the meantime, President Buhari has urged Nigerian youths not to relent in their doggedness of supporting the policies and programs of the APC government in its development strides of changing the lives of Nigerian citizens. The president stated this when he hosted a group of youth political appointees who are supporters of the present government in delivering on its core mandate. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports.
Having acknowledged the roles played by the Nigerian youth during the 2015 elections that brought into power this administration, President Muhammadu Buhari told the cross-section of this gathering, which made up of youth political appointees and other volunteer supporters of the government, cutting across all parts of the country, that this government has achieved its core objectives. With peace reigning in the country, which was absent before the 2015 elections, the massive transformation of agriculture and infrastructure, fighting corruption, as well as blocking of economic leakages, the president is optimistic that this nation is moving to the promised land. He called on them to continue to educating the Nigerian electorate, especially the youth, for engaging in a violent-free political activities that will ensure continuity of the present government for a better future of the country.
Our objective is very clear. Let the Nigerians settle down and earn a living. And the information I'm getting back is very encouraging. People are back for respective lives. They go to farm, sell the food, keep what they will eat, and so on. And I assure you, we are doing it for this country. So we are doing it for our children. Here we are going to stay, and we are going to salvage this country together.
The Nigerian leader is confident that with the revolution in rice production, which led to the banning of almost 90% of rice importation, large number of Nigerians are now back to farm, achieving food security and assuring them that more policies and strategies are underway beyond 2019.
Going back to the land, we have stopped importation of rice by at least 90%. People are leaving white-collar jobs now and going back to the land. So we have achieved food security.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, alongside the Governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, and other speakers, have identified with the leadership role of President Muhammadu Buhari of integrity and accountability, stressing the need for collective responsibility and desire to supporting the Buhari's led administration to continue with the good work he has started for Nigerians for the overall development of the country.
That we went to the 2015 election with promises. We will go to the 2019 election with our scorecard.
Nigerians and Nigerian youths and the people of Nigeria actually appreciate what Mr. President has done, and they are eager to return back to the poll and re-elect him again in 2019.
Now 3.5 years we're in office, and he has done incredible things. Let me give you simple statistics of the school feeding that we're doing. We're feeding 9.2 million children in 48,000 schools in 26 states.
Yes, they might look like a lion, but we are BMW. Buhari must win.
It is the implementation of this TSA that has helped us today to be able to apportion a lot of money to the capital budget that has seen a lot of infrastructural development in Nigeria.
And the youth of this country will take this message to every nook and cranny.
What we are saying, the next election, we are going with achievements.
From the State House, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
And turning to the governing party itself, the National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, Lanre Isaonilu, says the party is working to deepen democracy through inclusiveness and increased participation of party faithful in the electoral process. The APC spokesperson, who stated this in an exclusive interview with NTA News, debunked reports in the social media alleging that some APC governors are planning to remove the national chairman of the party, Comrade Adam Soshomole. Political correspondent Salihu Abdullahi reports.
And that the leadership is threatened. There's no such thing at all.
The governing All Progressives Congress says its leadership structure remains formidable and ready for the task of renewing its support base and increase people's confidence through good governance to ensure victory in the 2019 general elections.
This party enjoys so much support from the stakeholders, including the governors. More than 90% of them are solidly behind the NWC, and we are working well together.
The National Publicity Secretary says the party's leadership will soon release the final list of its candidates.
Yeah, we are at the stage of working on the House of Assembly and that of governorship, which falls due on 2nd of November. That's what we want to submit on that date. Whatever list that is being published now, the advice to the public is to disregard it.
He says the party is currently enjoying the support of all stakeholders, including the APC governors in Abuja. Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
In other news, Nigeria's role in the attainment of the African Union's Agenda 2063 is crucial, and Chairperson of the African Union Commission, Musa Faki Mahamat, on a two-day official visit to Nigeria, is seeking more contribution from the country. This was at a ministerial roundtable with the chairperson held in Abuja. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports that the meeting was chaired by Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyama.
Agenda 2063 is a strategic framework for the socio-economic transformation of the African continent, and it seeks to accelerate the implementation of initiatives for growth and sustainable development. Chairperson of the Commission, Musa Faki Mahamat, acknowledges the leadership role of the country on peace and security, economy, political development, nationally, regionally, and on the African continent over the years.
I turn towards Abuja. When you are big, everybody looks up to you, and therefore you have also major responsibilities and obligations. So therefore it's only to the big ones that you ask for more, to do more.
Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Onyama says the visit of the AU Commission's chairperson is very apt, as the Commission is at a very important point in its history.
It was an excellent meeting, and on the basis of this meeting, we plan to now have a coherent policy on our engagement with the African Union, engagement with the reform.
Discussion also includes present position of the country on the signing of the African Free Trade Zone.
President's recent decision here in the State House on Monday, inaugurating his committee, the Presidential Committee on assessing the implications of the AFCFTA and preparing a readiness plan.
The African Union is considered as the engine of Africa, and for it to succeed in its programs, member countries are enjoined to key into these programs effectively. From the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
The Nigerian government is partnering in the Global Fund on Prevention and Treatment of HIV, tuberculosis and malaria. Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, says the partnership, which has a cycle of 3 years with a grant of $660 million, will be used judiciously in line with the federal government's prevention and treatment program. Basi Taipang reports.
World Health Organization report shows that Nigeria is among the top countries with malaria disease burden, the second largest in HIV infection, and the 7th for tuberculosis in the world. The good news, the Minister of Health said, is the reported downward trend with the number of people infected with HIV. Thus, he attributed to the several health interventions by the government.
So this government will not take health for granted, and we have strong support at the highest level.
Executive Director Global Fund Peter Sands noted that the new grant is to further assist Nigeria in the prevention and treatment of the 3 diseases.
But I think it's worth saying that together we still have a lot to do if we want to stop the deaths in this country from HTB malaria, and we want to end the epidemics.
We are also aware of the need to have sustainable arrangements in the long term, because as they say, you cannot continue to expect gifts all the time, forever. And the government is committed to taking its rightful place in terms of investing in the future for the health of our people.
Records indicate that since 2014, Global Fund has so far spent $2.6 billion to fight HIV and AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria in Nigeria. Basi Taipang, NTA News.
The absence of early warning remains a major challenge to early response by security agencies. In view of this, the National Security Advisor, Baba Gana Mangunu, is advocating development of community-led early warning systems by Nigerians and key players at all levels as a way of tackling insecurity from the roots. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello reports.
The recent violence experienced in some parts of the country, the National Security Advisor says, is regrettable and a direct attack on the security of all citizens and the states. In a bid to address the spate of civil disturbances, heads of security agencies have reviewed the internal security situation and resolved to adopt all necessary measures within the law while taking cognizance of the fundamental rights of Nigerians.
These incidents have been the handwork of non-state actors with a proclivity for capitalizing on our inherent diversity as a country to plunge the country into an orgy of violence and bloodbath.
The National Security Advisor also comments on the use of unlicensed drones and social media to aggravate tension.
I have been talking with the Attorney General of the Federation to work out ways of ensuring that every single culprit, or indeed any group found responsible for inciting or for kickstarting or generating any act that leads to the loss of lives, will be brought to book.
The federal government says the security of Nigerians continues to remain paramount. From the office of the National Security Advisor in Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
And ahead on the news tonight, National Directorate of Employment trains 150 internally displaced persons. The details shortly.
This used to be me. But that was before I got the perfect bag. It's handy and easy to use. All I need in one compact space, just like my MTN Extra Value plan. I used to get one plan for my calls and then try to remember which data plan worked for me. Roaming was a totally different ballgame. Not anymore. I've got the MTN Extra Value all-in-one plan. If you're a data buff like me, you get extra data with some talk time. And if you like to make calls, you get extra talk time with some data. And when I'm abroad, I automatically browse, chat, and call right on the same plan. MTN Extra Value was made just for me.
More of data or calls, whichever one you prefer. MTN Extra Value is made just for you.
But the excitement is still on. Draw what you did in your holidays, and you stand a chance to win your dream holiday. Follow 3 simple steps to enter. Step 1, draw your holiday experience. Step 2, snap a picture. Step 3, send picture, name and address to the WhatsApp number 0902 588 8888. Hurry! Go grab your Indomie packs now. Offer valid till stocks last. Terms and conditions apply. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Hello, Auntie Kay. How is Atlanta? I'm just getting ready for a photo shoot. Got my makeup on.
Hey, Klaus, how you doing? How is Germany?
Hold on, 1 minute.
I haven't seen the containers yet. Oh, they are still in India.
Hello, Mama. Guess who's online?
Hey, Rajesh, what time is it in India?
How is South Africa, Mama?
Aren't you spending too much on calls now?
Don't you worry about it, Mama, because with Glow, you only need to pay 200 Naira a month and you get up to 85% discount on all calls to over 200 international destinations.
See, I'm going to let you guys sort this out.
Right? Time for the photo shoot. Love you. Bye.
Where's the photographer?
Hey, my friend. How are things going in Canada?
Glow International Call Slasher. Pay 200 Naira monthly fee to get up to 85% discount to call over 200 international destinations. Dial *777# to choose your plan. The largest data network. Glow. Grandmasters of data.
When
it comes to 30,000 naira. 30,000 naira to somebody is 1 million naira.
I just applied online. I did not know anybody.
I'm under carpenting. I was given saw, bar, tenant saw, hammer.
Federal government is able to mobilize me by giving me one iPad to aid me in carrying out my exercise.
So the money that was given to me, I was able to establish some little farm, and this building we are standing on.
I also have goats that I train.
But with the exception of the Empower, I've been able to do some little contribution that have actually helped me to put the money together and been able to service people.
My thanks goes to the President, President Muhammadu Buhari, for this thing that he has done for the youth of Nigeria. So we are grateful.
Don't you know? Time that money, so use that well. Don't you know that I will never let you down? Just a little love, just a little giving, show some love.
Enjoy free 250 MB every week just by recharging on Airtel Recharge Plus. Dial *479# to know more.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Thanks for staying with us. The editor of the online media Daily Nigeria, which released the controversial video clips accusing Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje of Kano State of collecting bribes, has appeared before the Kano State House of Assembly Committee investigating the bribery scandal. Awal Salisu reports that the editor, who testified before the committee amid tight security, reaffirmed his position that the allegation is true.
The arrival of the editor of the online medium, which is at the center of the controversy, a Kano-based journalist Jafar, heralded the commencement of public hearing. While testifying before the committee, Jafar said he received the content of the video clips in last month, though he declined to name those who provided him with the footages. He tendered before the committee a flash drive and a disc containing the video clips, which alleged the compiling of Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. This, Jafar said, will help the committee in carrying out its assignment.
You cannot just go ahead and publish your story, even if you satisfy your conscience that story is actually true. But you have to follow the rigors of the education before you publish something of that magnitude.
Chairman of the committee, Baffa Bubadan Agundi, said the public hearing was to enable the editor to shed more light on his allegation.
We are going to produce an independent person, not known to you, not known to the governor, but working for the State House of Assembly and to the committee to have a look at all these things.
No date has been fixed for next sitting of the committee. In Kano, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
The Federal High Court sitting in Jalingo has directed that summons be issued to the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Taraba State, Sani Abubakar Danladi, to appear before it. The former acting governor was to be arraigned in court with former Minister of Labour and Productivity Joel Danlami Ikenya and Mark Hussaini by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission for conspiracy and money laundering, but failed to turn up. Joseph Otsen reports.
Were arranged before Justice Stephen Daniel Pam by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, for conspiring and receiving money amounting to 450 million naira without proper banking transactions. While Joel Ikenya and Mark Hussaini were in court, Sani Danladi was absent. Counsel to EFCC, Ahmed Muntaka, told the court that the commission exhausted all means to serve the defendant with the charges to no avail, and therefore called on the court to issue a summons directing Sani Abubakar Danladi to appear before it and answer the charges brought against him. This, the counsel told Sani Danladi did not object. All counsels to the parties agreed that the case be adjourned to the 5th of December 2018 to enable the court present the summons to the former acting governor of Taraba State, which Justice Pam granted.
By our money laundering, nobody should receive a cash payment to this amount, in fact beyond 10 million naira, without passing through the financial institution.
In criminal trials such as this, you need to be served with a copy of the charge. Now, the third defendant is not aware of today's date, and he has not been served with a copy of the charge. That's why he's not in court today.
Meanwhile, Joel Ikenya and Mark Husseini have been granted bails. In Jalingo, Joseph Sound Oten, NTA News.
The ongoing conflict in northeastern Nigeria may have led to the displacement and loss of livelihoods of thousands, but the federal government is working to restore dignity to affected persons. In doing this, government has put in place strategies to create employment opportunities. Najatu Tijani reports on one of such programs organized by the National Directorate of Employment, NDE.
Displaced due to ongoing conflict in northeastern Nigeria, Ismail and Kachalla say the future seemed bleak. However, they are now singing a different song.
There was an attack by Boko Haram at that time, and that led us to evacuate to Abuja here. You feel lonely and you feel like you're the only one in Nigeria, no one is beside you. But with the help of this NDE, we feel like we're at home.
We're living in fear, and at the same time, there is no way a place for us to go and secure what to eat. On that note, we have to relocate to seek a new beginning. That's why we're here.
The avid handset repairmen say the future is looking bright. The young men are now part of more than 300,000 youth and women who the National Directorate of Employment says have benefited from the Basic Skills Acquisition Program of the federal government managed by the NDE and supported by various organizations.
Anywhere where we have concentration of IDPs, we are ready to go there so that we can come in and train them so that they can be self-reliant.
Thank the NDE, for projecting the values that our president stands for, helping those who are downcast, to be pulled up and giving skills to the people who had no skills.
This empowerment with a startup kit and capital will help Ismail, Kachalla and other beneficiaries regain their dignity and contribute to the economy and national development by training others. Najat Tijani, NTA News.
And inadequate social amenities and the consequences of separation of family units are among major challenges faced by internally displaced persons at the Zungeru camp in Wushishi local government area of Niger State. This emerged when the national president of the Police Officers' Wives Association visited the camp. Mukhtar Abubakar reports.
The internally displaced persons were forced to flee their residencies for over 40 days now as a result of flood that destroyed their communities in Shiroro local government areas of Niger State. Under this situation, government agencies, corporate bodies, and some individuals have been providing relief materials with a view to meeting immediate needs of this vulnerable group of people. This provision came in form of healthcare services, education for the school-age children to integrate them into social services. They organized classes for us at the camp.
Arrangement is ongoing to relocate these children to other schools.
These services are, however, not without challenges.
We are lacking bathroom and toilet facilities.
Well, for Amina Pilibus, the story is different as she alleged ill treatment at the Zungeru IDP's camp.
They say I be stranger, don't need to give me.
That is something I have concern for, and we are seriously looking into how to know the truth of the matter.
Meanwhile, another seeker came the way of the internally displaced persons.
It is my prayer that more hands will come on board to help elevate your feelings.
Your visit today, our dear former president, will be a memorable one.
The items include 100 bags of 50 kg rice and mattresses. From Zungeru IDP's camp, Mukhtar Abubakar, NTA News.
The pursuit for national interest, especially that of non-interference and upholding The principle of checks and balances are some attributes that stand the nation out in the last 3 years in deepening democracy. This was the standpoint of guests on NTA's current affairs program, Moment for Thought.
And one of the things that impresses me most about the current administration is the resolve to ensure that what belongs to any state is given to that state. It wasn't so in the past.
It is important for us to succeed in building Nigeria of our El Dorado dream when whosoever is responsible in the governance at whatever level personalize the spirit, principles, and the nationalism and patriotism to Buhari into yourself.
The program comes up tonight at 11:30 on the network service of the NTA. And now it's time to link up with Jennifer in the Center of Excellence, Lagos, for more reports. Jennifer?
Thank you, Cyril. Good evening and a warm welcome to Lagos. A museum to tell the story of television broadcasting in Nigeria has been unveiled at the NTA Lagos Network Center. The monument, inaugurated by the chairman, NTA Board of Directors, Chief Duro Onabule, is also to honor one of NTA's finest and former Executive Director News, the late Jimmy Ate. Joy Ken Abakboya has details.
Television broadcasting began in tropical Africa in 1959 under the Western Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation, which later metamorphosed into the Nigerian Television Authority in 1977. Since then, TV technology has metamorphosed from analog to digital, with most of its equipment now obsolete, but have history to tell. This outdated equipment are what the Jimmy Ate Museum will now display to the public. Inaugurating the monument, Chairman, NTA Board of Directors, Chief Duro Onabule, says the museum will preserve television artifacts and educate the public on the important role of television broadcasting.
We should do our best to make sure that the place is well kept so that in years to come, it will not become somewhat derelict.
Recorders, the earliest cameras, the earliest film processing machines, they will be useful to tell the story of television in Nigeria, where we are coming from and where we are now.
Director General of NTA, Malam Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, says the NTA Museum was born out of the need to tell the success story of NTA as Africa's premier TV station and late Jimmy Ate's contributions to the NTA.
It is in recognition of these sterling qualities as a courageous broadcaster and a man dedicated to communicating the truth that I find it fitting to dedicate this museum to his memory.
Management of NTA2 decided that the time has come to at least let the world know the story of television in Nigeria.
Immediate family members of the late Jimmy Ate react.
It's good to be good. You don't know who will be watching, and you don't know when the reward will come. You know, his reward has come even after his death.
The late Jimmy Ate, who passed on in 2015, was a former Executive Director News, NTA Headquarters, Abuja. He was also the brain behind many of NTA's current programs. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakboya, NTA News.
In a bid to empower young entrepreneurs across Africa, the Tony Elumelu Foundation has provided seed capital and mentorship to over 4,470 entrepreneurs across the African continent. Amako will report that the 4th edition of the forum was attended by the President of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo.
The Tony Elumelu Foundation has been setting the pace across the 54 countries of the African continent through the Entrepreneurship Forum.
What they are doing is to help us eradicate unemployment.
The 2018 edition of the Tony Elumelu Foundation had the unveiling of a digital platform, TEF Connect. Mahasin Kodiri, who innovated a mobile application that converts data into meaningful information, emerged winner of the $5,000 of the Tony Elumelu Prize for Best Pitch Awards.
Winner of this particular pitch competition is going to get mentorship.
Other alumni of the foundation from across Africa who have successfully grown their businesses received awards. President of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, stressed the need for Africa to effectively grow her macroeconomy for economic transformation.
And the majority of our population is young, so therefore the fixation of leaders, the focus of leaders, the concentration of leaders have to be on the things that we need to do to get young people going.
Founder Tony Elumelu Foundation says beneficiaries of grants have generated about $52 million and created about 11,000 jobs.
All of us who are seriously concerned and interested in creating jobs for our people in Africa and Nigeria should ensure that the right environment is provided and should hold our government accountable to create the right environment.
That in the next 10 years, the foundation must have empowered over 10,000 young entrepreneurs and create over 1 million jobs across the African continent. In Lagos, Amaka Owo, NTA News.
Airtel Nigeria, a leading communications operator, is redefining speed and reliability in mobile device technology as it launches 4G Lite in Lagos State. This was at a press conference in Lagos, from where Mohammed Abdul Kadri reports.
Airtel, now the network with the widest 4G coverage in Nigeria.
It was a standing ovation for Airtel Nigeria when friends and fans of the leading network could not hide their joy as the hall was lit to herald the debut of 4G in Lagos State. The groundbreaking ceremony brings to 60 cities and 16 states where 4G has been inaugurated by the management of the Airtel.
We've launched 4G quietly in some major towns and cities, in Anambra and Delta states. Onitsha, we've launched in Onitsha, in Akwa Ibom, in Warri, and Asaba.
Connecting the good people of the nation's commercial nerve center with 4G, the Airtel operators say
that's what we provide. A very affordable way of reaching your customers, a very affordable way of connecting you to your passion.
To key into the Airtel 4G, you need to dial *121*1*3# among other requirements.
3 things you do for you to enjoy 4G. You need a device that is 4G compatible. You need a SIM that is 4G compatible, and you need a network.
To do more and achieve more, the smartphone network gave out some smartphones to smart journalists and cash rewards to the winner of a quiz competition. Airtel plans to cover 100 cities by the first quarter of 2019. Experience Nigeria's widest 4G network coverage, and your life will never be the same again. In Lagos, Muhammad Abdul Kadri, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. More reports ahead after this timeout. Please stay with us.
What's the matter? It's your birthday. Guests are already waiting at the pool.
It's headache, cold, pains all over my body.
Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet contains powerful ingredients specially prepared to bring you fast relief from headache, body ache, cough, flu, cold, and fever.
Baby,
how are you feeling now?
Wow, I feel great thanks to Cold Time Tablet.
Cold Time Tablet also available in syrup for children. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet, a quality product from Embassy Pharmaceutical and Chemicals Limited. Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet, your visa to healthy.
Eshima. Mama. I'm out of food. Eshima, thank you, ma.
Amaka, ṣé wọ́n ni? Soap, orí, shea butter.
Airtel, the smartphone network. These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous. Whether you do it for fun or for political gains, real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
We're back in Abuja. Auditor General of the Federation charges auditors on accountability. Plus, the Pioneer Status Incentive Scheme values in more than 600 billion naira in 1 year. Chukwunonso Nwabweze has the details of these and more on Business News.
Hello and a warm welcome to Business News. As the federal government continues to tackle the challenge of underdevelopment due to lack of transparency, the Auditor General for the Federation, Anthony Ayene, has urged auditors to ensure that their work impacts positively on the country. Ayene gave the charge at a sensitization workshop for internal auditors in Abuja.
With the migration from cash basis of accounting to accrual basis of accounting, auditors have additional responsibilities, especially in respect of examination of general purpose financial statement of the NTA as required by Section 34 under separate entity reporting.
And the quarterly reports on the Pioneer Status Incentive PSI scheme covering August 2017 to June 2018, released by the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, indicates that out of the 81 applications received during the period, 19 were approved, while 14 were declined. The approved applications represent a total investment of 680 billion naira, resulting in 5,417 jobs across different sectors, especially manufacturing, real estate, power, ICT and telecommunication. Meanwhile, the equities market closed today on the green side, with the all-share index appreciating by 0.44% to close at 32,545.06 basis points in 3,128 days, valued at more than 3 billion naira. And that's the package at this time. I am Chukwunonso Nwabweze. The network news continues shortly.
And the sum of 569.28 billion naira has been shared among the 3 tiers of government as distributable statutory revenue for the month of September 2018. Minister of Finance and Chair of the Federal Accounts Allocation Committee, Zainab Ahmed, said the amount is about 57 billion naira less than that of last month.
The net distributable amount after the cost of collections to the 3 tiers of government as follows. To the federal government of Nigeria, the amount to be distributed is 265.679 billion naira. To the 36 states is 134.753 billion naira. To the local governments, it's 103.888 billion naira.
The minister attributed this to the shutdown of pipelines, which resulted in a reduction in production. Crude oil export sales increased by 0.17 million barrels. The non-oil sector generated a total of 564.8 billion, which is less than the amount earned in the last month. Our kidnappers arrested by Kebbi State Police Command. Let's get details of this as we join Sadia in Sokoto. Sadia.
Good evening and welcome to Sokoto. The Kebbi State Police Command has arrested a 7-man kidnap syndicate in Shanga local government area of the state. Nuratan Kwokili reports that the police also arrested a syndicate specialized in car theft and is in the process of recovering 2 cars.
The suspects were arrested with a gun and other dangerous weapons after kidnapping some of their victims in Yauri Emirate. The victims were rescued and reunited with their families, while the suspects upon interrogation were linked to other heinous crimes. Also arrested were 6 robbery suspects in Bagudo local government area of the state, a syndicate specialized in stealing mobile phones who burgled a shop in Argungu and carted away 58 mobile phones, and a gang specialized in car theft and receiving. The Kebbi State Police Commissioner Alhaji Kabir Ibrahim said all the suspects will be charged to court.
Crime fighting cannot be left to one agency alone. We need the support and cooperation of every citizen.
Some victims of these heinous crimes were at the police headquarters to thank them. The suspects were paraded along with some exhibit found in their possession. In Birnin Kebbi, Nuratanko Akili, NTA News.
The Sultan Abdurrahman School of Health Technology, Godabawa in Sokoto State, has been closed down. The closure of the school followed students' protest over the late response of firefighters when fire razed their dormitory. Dalhatu Abdullahi has the report.
The institution was established in 1992 to train manpower for health facilities across the state. Investigations by NTA News revealed that one of the school hostels was razed by fire, where 10 rooms were affected, destroying all the students' belongings. Angered by their losses, the affected students denied the fire service truck access to the scene for coming late after they had lost everything to the inferno. The students went on rampage, stoning the fire service truck and other structures, including the administrative block of the institution. Some of the students who spoke off camera described the closure of the institution as unfortunate, as some departments have already commenced semester examinations, while others are preparing for the National Council examinations next month.
We cannot hold our arms looking at students going on rampage, destroying properties, government property.
During the 3 weeks compulsory break, the management will assess the damage caused by the inferno and students, as well as report those responsible to the higher authorities. The cause of the fire was alleged to be from the burning of cleared grasses within the premises. In Sokoto, Dalat Abdullahi, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Sokoto. It's now back to Cyril in Abuja for more news. Good evening.
Thank you, Sadia. The Benue State Police Command has arraigned one Andrew Abuja, a lecturer with the Benue State Polytechnic, before a magistrate court in Makudi for alleged conspiracy and culpable homicide. Godwin Inalegu reports that Andrew Abuja and his son were charged for sexually abusing a minor who later died.
The accused, Andrew Ogboja, was arraigned before the court for having unlawful carnal knowledge of a 13-year-old girl, Ochanya Ogbanje, who had been living with them but suspected to have died as a result of the consequence of their criminal acts. The prosecution counsel, Godwin Tehemba, told the court that Ochanya was admitted at the Federal Medical Center, Makudi, for treatment and diagnosed of having vesicovaginal fistula, VVF, and later died on the 17th of October 2018. During police investigation, Andrew Ogboja was arrested while his son, Victor Ogboja, was said to have disappeared. The Chief Magistrate, Isaac Faga Jim, therefore adjourned the case till November 29, 2018 for further mention. No plea was taken for want of jurisdiction. The accused has been remanded at the Makudi Minimum Security Prison in Makudi. Godwin Inalegu, NTA News.
Sports now. Raja Casablanca cruised past Aimba to CAF Confederation Cup final as Governor Koa tasks NFF on grassroots development.